Hey everybody, welcome to Tiffany Takes. And today I'm going to talk about one of my favorite topics, and that's Beyonce. And so recently, Beyonce was named the greatest artist of the 21st century by Billboard. All right, and a lot of people had a lot to say. Of course, people are in support, and of course, there's some haters too. So I'm going to give you my personal 21 reasons why Beyonce is the best artist of the 21st century. Okay, so number one, original music. Okay, and before y'all even start be in the comments like, oh, Beyonce samples music, Beyonce samples music, I'm not saying that she doesn't. Yes, so there's a lot of original music. Her latest album consists of original music. I'm just saying that because we are in an era where there is non-stop sampling. Some of these newer artists, every time it's a hit from them, it's a sample. Not to diss the samples, but originality has to have its credit, you know? And when Beyonce does sample music, it's usually used as paying homage or education, like you're learning something about the history of a culture of a genre. Okay, so, and that is original to do that. Number two is music track time frame. Okay, like this new streaming era, a lot of the R&B songs, a lot of the urban music, 2 minutes, 3 minutes short. Beyonce has stuck to the 4 minutes, four track mainly, and I appreciate that. I don't see a lot of people talk about, being OG Hive. That means a lot to not cut the tracks that short. Three, okay. Pro Black. Yes, I am definitely putting that in my top three reasons because somebody got to do it. I think Beyonce has reached a level of success where being pro-black sometimes is often overlooked, and she has reached the magnitude where her voice, it has such power, and to use it to uplift her own people and culture and issues of our culture when we are the ones who have uplifted and gotten her to her level of success is not something to go unnoticed, and I appreciate that deeply. Black is King alone. I talk about Black is King a lot. I did an interview with King of the Beehive, Deron Jordan, and I talked about it a lot as well because just that representation, is it means the world. And even if you're not Black, I feel like looking at that should be admired because if you're not Black, you still live in a world in a society where you see how treatment is handled amongst the races. So that should be something that you admire regardless. Which leads into my next point, number four, education. Beyonce does a flawless job educating her fan base, someone who consumes her music. And I just want to share my personal experience. I remember very young, maybe about seventh grade, I took dance class and I learned about Alvin Ailey, right? And I remember there was a DVD that Beyonce put out. I had to go into my archives, right? But it's this DVD. Sorry, I got some lights. This is a um This is a BET special Beyonce edition when she did her B-Day album. And that DVD consisted of like an interview with Beyonce, and she just talked about the whole album and the whole process. She talked about a lot of her influences. She named names of like people who were at the time of that album she was using as muses, and it was just really educational. That's where I first noticed that Beyonce does that. This was in 2006. From 2006 is now 2024, close to 20 years. Beyonce has been educating through her craft. Number five, experimenting. I feel like none of the Beyonce albums have sounded the same. It's always growth. It's always, something for your ears to just absorb. It's nothing repeats itself. It's always something, it's always evolution. And I feel like as artists, it's easy to get caught up in a look or a sound that works for you and continue to do that and stay stagnant. And I think that transfers into myself just with whatever I want to do in life. Like I'm always like trying to find something different to do, something where I don't stay stagnant, especially in the creative space. That's why if you go to my channel, if you go to my page, like there's different varieties and stuff because, you know, it's just you don't want to. I personally, from the school of Beyonce, I always want to like grow and be able to do something different and not just have one trick. Number six, Beyonce shows respect, with this newest album, Cowboy Carter, including Linda Martell, who was like one of the pioneers of females in country, black females in country. Dolly Parton, who's a staple in country, who paved the way. Even though she's not black, she's still a woman, you know and just highlighting the people that came before her and bringing them current so newer people can learn about them, younger people can learn about them. That's very important. I don't see a lot of people that do that. Number seven, tours. Okay, Beyonce tour experience is like the most anticipated, and I think it sits high on this list because I think that's a part of just you know, the world is shaky right now. It's a lot going on. Sometimes people are going through a lot. And I feel like whether you're an average person working 9 to 5, you're an entrepreneur, you're a creator, you're another celebrity, you look forward to going to a Beyonce concert. Beyonce set the standard, okay? She was the first person in recent years that I've seen that's had like a theme, a dress code to the show. Renaissance. And just you know, set to the bar. There's no competition. There's no comparison. That's why when I saw this article and I was like, and it said, "Oh, the list. She tops the list," and I was just in my head like, "List? There was more, competitors." I just there's a lot of talented people in music. Not to say it like that. I'm just, you know, she's welcoming to other artists. She always reaches out, shows love. You can see posts where she sent gifts to people, that type of thing. And this is not on my list that I wrote down, but I want to add to it now. Um, Criticism. I think Beyonce holds the title for best person in the spotlight. Reaction to criticism. Like the reaction is non-existent, and if she does react, she's gonna put it in a track and make a coin off of it. It's just like I feel like that not only helps the public, because say for instance, if Beyonce was on the Shade Room clapping back at something, like it kind of takes away from the Beyonce, you know. And I also think it's helpful to her and her life. Just don't even respond. Like we just gonna do something and give them something else to talk about. And all you're gonna do is talk, and I'm gonna work. It's a great motto. And I feel like that should apply even in just real life. Like because real people deal with that too. Like I feel like a lot of times with me being an aspiring content creator, a lot of times the questions I get will be, how will you handle like what is it? How will you handle it's a word I'm looking for and I can't. How will you handle, oh my God, like the negative criticism, but backlash. Yes. How will you handle backlash? And I'm just like, guys, I live a real life. Like there's always people that have commentary on what you're doing in your life. Like at that point, you're just online, and it's probably more. But I feel like watching that teaches you, like, you don't have to respond to everything. And you'll find that if you don't respond to everything, you're more at peace, because it takes energy to get upset. It takes energy to want to say something back every single time. And then sometimes you just realize the person that's saying it, like their mindset, like it's not even worth indulging with. And Beyonce has taught that. Number 9, influence. I feel like no one else has the influence. Like if you watch award shows, if you watch commercials, if you watch just the culture, then you feel the Beyonce influence, right? So now when I go into the stores and I'm shopping and I'm looking around, like there's cowboy attire in there. Now I live in the South, okay? So it's not out of the, well, I want to say you would have to go to a particular store to get that attire. Now they got cowboy stuff in Target, the local boutiques, like in the mall, like cowboy attire. Beyonce, like there was no other reason. It's never been there before, and I've been a frequent shopper. Um, Unannounced drops. You know, I feel like Beyonce started that. Even she was the one that brought it to my attention, and I'm naming that as one of the reasons, because when you have the ability to change the way the record business works, the way a system that has been in effect for numerous years, and now you have just turn things around. Come on now, put respect on my sis name. um 21st century, uh the next number 11, versatility. We've seen Beyonce in all type of roles. We've seen her in a group, we've seen her solo, now we're seeing her as a mom. We've seen her acting, we've seen her, you know now run a business, Parkwood Entertainment. We've seen her as a designer, we've seen a fashion, beauty brands, L'Oreal, Pepsi. Like she's literally done it all. Like 12 CEO, running her own ship. Okay. I feel like Beyonce does things like she doesn't rush into it. And I feel like that is a factor to her success, right? Because for a long time, Beyonce has had management, and, her dad being a part of her management, that type of thing, and I feel like sometimes when people first go solo, manage, themselves, but, still stay under guides until she feel, ready and to do things successfully. And it's just a lot. 13 brands, okay? Numerous brands. The B phone. B phone was one of my favorite products from Beyonce, to be honest. And if y'all don't know, B phone was a cell phone that had an MP3 player on one side, and it was a phone on the other side. Innovation. Okay? Innovation. At the time, you either had to have iPod or phone. They weren't combined like that. And that was before music was actually in the phone. So just innovation. House of Darion, Ivy Park, Senua. Okay. Oh, I said that correct. My bad, girl. If I didn't. Sacred. And people that talk about Beyonce can't sell a brand, that's some of the criticism that is online. And I feel like y'all just want to find something to say about sis. Because every time I went to the Ivy Park website, it was sold out. Where are y'all getting that from? 14 is just putting out products that are still tangible, because in this streaming era, like when she drops her music, like sometimes you can get them available on vinyl. And that means a lot to me, because as a person that collected like physical, like that was one of my favorite things. Try to bring some stuff so y'all could just see like physicals, you know these were just some of the things that over the years, like I, as an OG Hive, I love having something physical that I can. Oh, my bad, y'all. I love having something physical that you know, and what's the deluxe, But I just love having something that I just have. Okay, This is showing my age, but it's all good. In the club, we all fam. Okay, I think that's enough show and tell for now. 15. Philanthropy. Giving back, okay, it's very important. Beyonce is a part of a lot of acts that give back to the community, and I feel like when I'm a fan of someone who does that, I feel like my money, when I support them, is going towards good use. Like, some people you never see anything, and they may not feel comfortable sharing that, but if you feel comfortable sharing a mansion and whatever, you don't necessarily have to show the people. You can just say, oh well, this is a website you can check out that helps people da 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 da. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. The Be Good Foundation, which is doing constant acts to give back. I remember on tours, the Beyonce experience, like, we brought canned goods and things like that because there was a hurricane at the time. I don't remember which one, but it just feels like it's a part of a bigger cause, and being an artist like that it means a lot. 16 is voice, and that goes into philanthropy, like just using your voice to acknowledge things that are happening in the world. I feel like Beyonce does that. Always speaks on issues that are affecting our community and trying to do something positive. Instagram, okay. Instagram is number 18, okay, because I feel like Beyonce posts are not average Instagram posts. Like, her posts alone are a production, okay? And that, again, is just giving you Beyonce in every avenue that you can, like, at contact with her. Like, if you're going to see her performance is going to be top tier. If you go to her Instagram account, that experience is going to be top tier. Any Beyonce experience, like, it's next level, and it sets herself above the rest. That's why she's number one, boo. 19 is mystery. I feel like Beyonce has this, like, where people want to know things about her because she doesn't reveal everything, and I feel like that adds to her allure. That's why so many people want to meet her and find out what it is about her, because you can't go to her page and see everything about Beyonce. You just see Beyonce. And I feel like that is necessary, and I'm so happy that um in the era of, like, digital and streaming, and, like, where you can get really, which is a good thing, I guess, you can get really up close and personal with celebrities. We still kind of just, only know a tidpiece, a portion. Number 20, I have a mom. Beyonce's a mom now. Like, can y'all believe it? Like, I still remember, like, sometimes it's so crazy to, like, process that, because I just remember seeing Beyonce, like, so young on Smart Guy. Okay, a baby. But I'm adding that to the list because motherhood has not stopped Beyonce from being Beyonce. And not that it would necessarily stop her, but a lot of times we see when artists become parents, or they become, just tied up with family, like, sometimes their love for art can change, or sometimes their just participation is sometimes it's hard to, like, find themselves and how they want to create. So the fact that she's been able to do that, and I won't say that it's been easy, because I doubt that it has, but the fact that she hasn't given up or stopped or neglected the music or anything like that, and has in fact made her children a part of it, is beautiful to see that balance. And I think it's not easy to do, so that's why I'm adding it to the list. And number 21 is no visuals. I'm adding that to my list because I feel like that took incredible foresight to see. Recently, in an interview, she stated why she didn't release any visuals for Renaissance or Cowboy Carter, like, because she wanted the music to take effect and shine. And I think about that clip from the Renaissance tour when somebody asked her where are the visuals. First of all, y'all be brave. Like, I would never ask Beyonce that. Like, first of all, I'm just happy to meet Beyonce. And I'm gonna ask her where some visuals at. Girl, the whoever asked that, bold, okay? But anyway, and she was like, "You are the visual baby." Okay. And then at that time, when I saw that, I was just kind of like, maybe that's just the answer. Like, you know how people say things and it's just the answer because they're not gonna put it out. But now, if you think about it, when we think Renaissance, we don't see Beyonce. We see the people. And I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry. But I think it's a very emotional thing. I think it's very powerful that for artists who could kind of like make it all about themselves, you know, but to just kind of take an album because it's about rebirth and, you know, loving yourself and empowering your own self, and to make that whole album just about the people who attend. Because when I think about Renaissance, I think about the celebration of music. When I think about that, you know, there's nothing else that you can attach it to because it's just that. And to kind of have that foresight before, because she could have released the visuals before the tour or during the tour, and that would have kind of taken over. But to sit back as a visionary and say, I'm gonna hold off on what I did, and I'm just going to live through this and let the people be the aesthetics. Like, that is legendary. And that's why she's the top artist for the 21st century.